light, crispy, crunchy coating on those prawns, and a homemade pickled plum dipping sauce. It's not often you can call a prawn perfect, but here we go. My perfectly ultimate prawn cutlets. Alright, prawn cutlets generally make me very sad because they're so often very bad. The crumbing is all soggy, the prawns themselves are terrible. We are gonna fix that. We're gonna make the ultimate prawn cutlet. How do we do that? We'll get to the prawn cutlet part in a minute. There's a few little details that you've got to get right. First of all, let's make our very special homemade pickled plum sauce. All right, so what I need are some pickled plums. And what you're looking for are these guys. Now, a Thai or Asian grocer will have these. You could use Japanese pickled plums too. Basically, this is going to add like a tangy, salty flavor. Now, just get rid of the seeds inside. And look, if you can't get a hold of the pickled plum, don't worry. Just use apple cider vinegar in here instead of the white vinegar that we're going to use. And you'll get a little bit of color and some of that kind of fruity tang as well. Now, just chop up that plum flesh. And that goes into our saucepan. So this is a very typical sauce that you get here in Thailand whenever these prawn cutlets are served. So for me, it's the ultimate dipping sauce. You could simply use sweet chili sauce as well if you like. But let's go with my version for this, shall we? Now we also need some sugar here, some white vinegar, and as I said, use apple cider vinegar if you can't get the pickled plum, some water, and a little dash of fish sauce. And just let that heat up until the sugar dissolves. So now let's make a start on our prawns. Okay, first of all, get some beautiful prawns. You really need to start with the best quality prawns here because we are not gonna do very much to them. We're just gonna make them a little crunchy. So I've got some beautiful large tiger prawns here and I've already peeled them. I've cut the back open slightly and what I wanna do is open that up a little bit more. So just run your knife through here and then open that up so we have a bit of a flat surface there. Don't cut all the way through, obviously. Now take a rolling pin and just tap very gently on the prawn meat. So what I want is a very beautiful even layer of prawn. Okay, that's looking good. Now, because we're going to the trouble of making the ultimate prawn cutlet, I want to season each and every piece of prawn, just a little pinch of salt. And seasoning the prawn meat directly rather than seasoning your flour or your breadcrumbs is going to mean you get the perfect amount of salty goodness on each prawn. Now just keep going until you've done all your prawns. So that's our prawns. Now let's get on to the very light and crispy crumbing. And I'm going to start out with some panko breadcrumbs. That's these guys. But if you have a look, it's quite a large crumb and it's quite uneven as well. And we're going for the perfectly ultimate prawn cutlet here. So let's fix that. I'm just going to pop that into a little bag. I'm going to use my trusty rolling pin again and just pound these crumbs until they're a beautiful, fine and even texture. Okay, so this is looking good. Much improved for my purposes. And the other thing we need here are some egg whites. So by using the egg whites only and not the yolk, we're making things even crispier and lighter and not even sullying our prawn flavor with an egg yolk, if you like. Now just give that a whisk. Now, standard crumbing procedure here. You guys who have watched my channel a lot would know how I like to do this. Left hand wet hand, right hand dry hand. That'll keep everything a lot cleaner. You'll see. Okay, so wet hand takes the prawn, right hand comes in, deals with the flour. Make sure you get the excess flour off. Again, I want to keep things as light as possible. Into the egg white. Then your left hand comes in because of course the egg white is wet. Now into the crumbs. And your right hand does the job there. And by sticking to that system, you kind of end up with less mucky hands. Now before we cook our prawns, let's come back and have a look at our sauce. Oh, look at that beautiful colour. Now let me try. Sweet, tangy, just a little fruity. We'll just make a couple of adjustments here. I'm going to add a little scant teaspoon of some of that pickled plum juice and just a little pinch of salt. Let's see. So perfect. So you can buy this in any Thai or Asian grocery store, but you know, to my mind, the homemade version is so much better. It's fresher, and usually the bottled version has a bunch of like MSG and chemicals and stuff, so this is way better. All right, let's pour that out and it will thicken up as it cools. Oh, look at that beautiful golden color, so beautiful. Now comes the fun part, the deep frying. You guys know how much I love this part. Let's check the oil first. I'm just going to put a chopstick in here. Wooden spoon is fine as well. And I can see lots of little furious bubbles there, so we are good to go. Now just drop those prawns in. Don't overcrowd the pan because of course overcrowding will mean that the temperature of the oil will drop, which will give you a soggy prawn. So just a few at a time. And in a matter of a minute or so, we have a perfectly crisp golden prawn cutlet. Now, as with anything crispy and deep fried, I like to hit it with a little bit of salt while it's still warm. All right, let's get the rest of these guys done. Now let's decant some of that golden sauce into our serving bowl. And then these little beauties just get scattered around. And absolutely no further adornment is necessary. Look at that beautiful little picture. Well, of course I'll have to try one, just so you know that it's okay. Let me have a look. Oh, look at that. That is so light and crispy and just beautifully simple. The prawn is lovely, beautifully salted. That sweet tangy sauce, just a little bit fruity. Definitely perfect in every way.
If you've got any comments or questions, pop them below. And if you enjoyed the video, why not hit that subscribe button plus the little bell one, and that way you'll get notified every time I release a new video. Thanks guys.